Good morning, everybody. Hello. Look at all of you guys. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. Hello, hello. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Dustin, and this channel, Modern Metaphysicate, is about all things occult and esoteric with a very heavy lean on the tarot. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out. I thought today we could do another episode of my reflections and favorites from the previous month. So this is a little video series where every month I hop on here live with you guys and I chat about all the things that I loved last month. Everything from food and video games and TV shows and books and crystals and all that fun stuff. So if you're interested in that, hang out. Yeah. Some of you guys in live chat were a little off with your intuition, but a lot of you nailed the mug, so I am quite impressed. I am inhaling coffee at an exorbitant rate today. So some big stuff. As always, guys, if you're interested in any of the things that I'm sharing with you guys, be sure to check the description box down below. All the links and crap is down there. You guys know the drill. It like do we even have to say this anymore on YouTube? Like links are where the links go. Um, Down there, you'll find links to my social media, and you'll also find a link to my personal website where you can book a tarot reading with me. So check all that stuff out. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and click the little bell notification if you haven't done that. The YouTube algorithm monkeys really love that stuff, and it helps our community and all that fun stuff to grow. So check all that out. Yeah. Owl mug. So, for those of you wondering, or maybe you're watching this in the future, the chat loves to do this little intuition test before I go live, where they decide whether or not I'm wearing a hat, and usually what hat or what type of hat I'm wearing, and then also what mug I have selected to consume my daily dose of caffeine um, out of, and and some people were really spot on today, and some people were just not there. So it's always fun. It's always fun. Always fun. So yeah, guys, I am exhausted. I've got some pretty big bags going under my eyes, even though I got extra sleep. Happy daylight savings. This is the good one where we get time, which is lovely. Now, can we just stop doing it? Because I'm over it. Um, but the past couple weeks have been insane. So I did kind of briefly mention in the last live, but I am opening another boutique metaphysical store. Um, I spent probably the last year kind of evaluating how I want to spend my time, where I want to spend my time, and also evaluating what's going on in my personal life and like YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And I determined I want to stay with the kind of the boutique model as it is with my store. And the opportunity came up to open a second one in a really good location here in Colorado Springs. And so the last 2 weeks have been scramble time. I basically had to buy stock for an entire store, get it in. As you can see behind me, there's boxes. How do I Vanna White this? There we go. There's tons of stuff for the store, even in this room. It's like my whole house is covered in metaphysical store stuff, which is really fun. I love it. It's a lot different than how I started my little shop business, which I started back at the end of 2019, where I kind of built it up slowly. And this one's just going all out. So that's a thing. So I started moving in yesterday. Those of you who follow me on social media probably noticed an odd post where there was this big logo of a painted tree and a fountain. And they are a nationwide brand of basically like boutique small shop. They run like these big like small shop sort of art co-op places. And they're opening one here in the Springs, and I got a cool space right next to the fountain. I'm really excited. And so yesterday we went over there and painted, and I brought in a whole load of furniture because for the past month I've been thrifting display pieces for that space, and I'm exhausted. So I'm pooped to say the least. But I'm really excited. If you're not following me on social media, be sure to do that, because I'm going to be posting lots and lots of pictures and updates of how things are coming along. I have this entire week to move in, and then the soft opening is next Saturday, the 9th, and then the grand opening will be a little bit later this month, and I'll announce that appropriately. And I know I do have a lot of locals that watch. A lot of you guys have caught me in my other boutique, restocking and stuff like that, and you guys are always super nice and you say hello, and I really appreciate that. It always brings a big smile to my face when you guys say hello and tell me that you guys like to hang out on Sunday mornings. So if you're watching, hi. And yeah, I'm really excited. So be sure to watch all of the social media stuff, because that's where I'll be posting all of that kind of stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I love a fancy fountain too, Elowen. I really, really do. Um, so it's been a crazy couple weeks, and it like literally ran away from me. Like time just like exploded. But I do have quite a few things. I was putting this list together last night in like my post work stupor. I was like covered in like paint from painting, and then like every part of my body was aching because I was moving these huge pieces of furniture, antique furniture, and I was like, I need to come up with my list because I haven't done that yet. And I actually was like, oh, there's a lot of stuff that's here. So I'm really, really excited to share with you guys that. Um, oh goodness, vintage, you're moving. Oh no, that's a move. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, packing this room up right now would be a nightmare. So that being said, be sure to keep in touch on social media if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Um, and I will be posting all the pretty pictures of the new boutique space. So I'm really excited about that. Also, the the membership program. My goodness, my brain. Scala Metaphysicae. So we wrapped up our last study hall, which was on the Thoth Tarot. Because of the store opening this month, which is occupying all of my time, and then December is usually just a very busy month for most people, with holidays and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to spin up the next study hall until January. So, what does that mean? I will put out polls on the Discord server and on the community page for both non-members and members. Members, of course, do have more weight in the next topic that is decided. However, in the last two rounds, you guys have always been in alignment, so it is what it is. But if you're interested in that, just know it's not disappearing. It's not going anywhere. It's on hold. We will pick the new topic in December, and then come the new year, we will get back to studying. So we're on a little bit of a holiday break, one might say, with study hall. So yeah, I hope that's exciting for everyone. And yeah, I think that's it in terms of like the housekeeping stuff for the community. Um, Also, I am posting now. So all of the monthly um, sort of schedules and stuff go up on the community tab. If you haven't checked that out, check that out. I post and let everyone know what's going on, and when you guys can expect stuff. Monthly Teroscopes will be going out this week. So for all of my members who are qualified for that, you will get your Teroscopes. I think on Wednesday is when I have them slated to be done. So, and yeah. Oh, and fun stuff. So Adeptus members, if you are a member at the Adeptus level, you get monthly tarot spreads that I designed myself. This month is an interesting month because we have three lunar moments. Moments, is that the word? Anyways, we have two new moons this month. So we have a black moon this month. So the Adeptus sheet has the first new moon and the full moon, which the first new moon was Friday. And then I will be posting a public for everyone in the community Black Moon tarot spreadsheet when we get towards the second new moon later this month. So you guys have that to look forward to. I kind of put that together behind the scenes a while back, and I'm very excited about it. It's a fun one, so I think you guys will like it. Um, so yeah, I think that's it. Is that it? I think that's it for the the housekeeping stuff. So let's dive in. Um, Again, as always, guys, if you have questions, comments, anything like that you want me to see or read, um, all caps at Modern Metaphysics K, however you want, keep posting it. Sometimes I do miss things, and if I do, I apologize. But don't feel bad about um, bringing it to my attention. The moderators usually do a good job of teasing me when I miss stuff. So, so wild card is skincare. Because everybody seems to like my takes on skincare. I suffer from a couple of skin issues, specifically on my face. One of them being eczema, and for a long time I would have really bad flare-ups. And if you've been watching the channel for a while now, I'm sure you remember seeing like I would have like these big red patches on my face sometimes. And Korean skincare very much changed that for me, probably over the course of the last couple of years. And I'm a huge fan of the Anua product line, but I've kind of like been branching out and trying different things because being someone who's a little neurospicy, um, I do have sometimes like issues with like the way things feel and like textures and stuff like that, or sometimes I don't want to like I don't feel like I need to put on like a really heavy sort of like moisturizer and things like that. And a friend of mine recommended this stuff. This is the Haruharu Wonder Black Bamboo Mist. Not sponsored. Um, but it's, first of all, it smells delicious. And it's not like it's a very neutral smell. I wouldn't say it leans like masculine or feminine, but it's like, it's citrusy. It just smells fresh. Um, and it's literally meant for your face. You just spray it on. And I love this stuff because especially like after I shave and things like that, my shaving cream super moisturizes my face. So it's like I don't want to like put more on top because then it just sits there and then my face feels sticky. So I really like using this when I just feel like my skin's dry or like I said, when I shave and things like that. And I don't want that like smearing stuff on my face feeling. So I really like this stuff. It smells great. There's a whole line of it. I also did end up getting the hand cream, and because I have really dry hands, especially in the winter, my hands like get really bad and they like crack and it's not fun. And this stuff is amazing. I will say the packaging leaves it's like a tomato paste tube. Everybody knows those tubes, and like if you don't like properly pressurize them when you open them, they kind of like squirt everywhere. So that's not fun, but once you like get it situated, all the jokes in chat right now, go ahead. Um, but once you get it situated, it's great. But this stuff smells just like that, and it's really good, and it doesn't leave my hands feeling greasy. So I love this stuff. I did put the link to this in the description box down below. If anybody wants a link to this, let me know. I'll throw it in there. But I love this stuff. It's so good, and it doesn't make my face feel like tacky or anything. Um, it's great. I love it. I don't know what else to say. That's your wild card. Good morning, everybody coming in. Hello, hello. Um, so where did my notes go? Oh no, I lost my notes. There they are. Okay. Food and drink. Dumplings. That's what I put. Dumplings. I've been living off of dumplings are like my go-to when I'm like stressed and I'm short on time because like A, you can get the microwave ones that are freaking delicious, and B, like you can get them in all kinds of different flavors and fillings, and it's basically like pasta, and I love dumplings. They're yummy. And my favorite brand of dumplings is BBgo, which is a Korean brand of dumpling. Um, and I did open, just so you guys can see. So you can usually find this in most places. I get these at like King Supers and Safeway here. So I feel like they're very accessible. But like their steamed dumplings are really yummy. Like the pork ones, the pork and veggie ones are my favorite. Um, the big Korean style mandu ones, those ones are freaking amazing. And I will literally make meals out of them. If you're in the community Discord channel, you can go to the food channel, and I've posted a number of times where I'll just like make some dumplings, and that's my lunch. Um, so yeah, the beef bulgogi ones are really good, and they just came out with these. I want to try these. I actually did see these at the store the other day, but I have like a giant bag of dumplings I need to eat first, and I was like, eat the ones you have, come back and get these later. But they are japchae, pork and beef japchae dumplings, which I'm very intrigued by, and I kind of want. So hands down, my favorite dumplings. My favorite thing to dip them in, by the way, is I will take some toasted sesame oil, some soy sauce, and some like garlic chili oil, and I'll mix that up in like a little bowl, and that's what I dunkaroo in. Um, love this stuff. So good, so good. So that is by far my favorite food and drink from last month, and will probably be what I like live off of this month, if I'm perfectly honest. Um, so we'll talk about herbs. An herb I actually worked with a lot. Not only did I eat a lot of because of the chili oil, but that I worked with in my practice was chilies. And I'm not going to show it, like everyone knows what a chili looks like, right? But you can work with chili in multiple different ways. Chili powder, you can cook with it. You can get chili flakes. You can get dried chilies. You can get fresh chilies. Like chilies are everywhere. They're very accessible, but they are also specifically an herb or a plant that is really good to use magically, right? It's often associated with the element of fire, and you see it in many traditions being kind of aligned with protection, purification, love, right? And things like that. It often also is kind of associated with like transformation, right? And change, that kind of idea of, how fire changes things. But it's a really, really good thing to use in magic work, dealing with like banishing negativity, or when you're focusing on things like personal growth and empowerment. It's a really, really powerful thing to work with in those kinds of situations. So I worked with that a lot last month, and love it. And yeah, Ch- actual chili, yeah, chili, the food group. I will say this. Okay, I might get some hate for this. This is a hot take. Don't come at me, chat. I'm not a huge fan of like chili, the like soupy, like like stuff. That is not my. It's to me, chili is just like spicy sloppy Joe mix, not on a bun, and with beans. And it's not one of my favorite things. I know a lot of people are passionately in love with chili, and it's just not one of my favorite food groups. Um, but that's just me. That's just me. Hot take. I am a soup boy though. I do love me some soups. Chili's not one of them, but I'm not a big like tomato based soup person either. Mostly because it gives me heartburn, if I'm perfectly honest. So that could have something to do with it as well. My favorite all-time soup is like Italian, like Tuscan style soup with like sausage and kale and like potatoes, and you put like some butter beans in it, and like that's my go-to. Okay. Sloppy joes and chili are totally different, yes. Um but that is what my, I don't know, my brain makes that connection, and I'm just like I can't eat like spicy sloppy joes with beans out of a bowl. It doesn't vibe with me. Italian wedding soup is very good, very similar. Love it. All right. Now that everybody's gonna come for me in the comments section. Let's talk about the crystal I worked with the most last month. And that was by far Smoky Quartz. I have a couple here to show you guys. Let me see if we can swap the camera around. Here we go. I can do the technology today. So I have this is often on my reading table. I leave this around all the time. It's always around. This is a piece of crackle smoky quartz or fire and ice smoky quartz. This typically occurs in crystals when they're rapidly heated and cooled because of tectonic activity, so magma heating it up where the crystals are, and then it rapidly cooling because of a volcanic eruption or something like that, right? That's typically how this is formed. But Smoky itself, I love Smoky quartz. I think, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I think my affinity for Smoky quartz comes from the fact that I grew up under Pikes Peak. And Pikes Peak, if you're familiar with like where gemstones come from, is full of quartz crystals, and Smoky quartz being a very predominant thing, as well as like Amazonite and some other minerals. But to me, like Smoky quartz feels like home, and I think that makes sense because I grew up under a giant mountain of a 14er that's filled with Smoky quartz. But it's a stone that I personally really love to work with. Quite often I usually have at least a little piece of it in my pocket on most days. I love Smoky quartz. It's revered for its grounding and protective properties in different traditions. It's believed to absorb negative energies and transmute them into positive vibrations, making it a really good stone for like times when you're emotional, right? It's also like in folklore has been associated with like earth, like the earth itself. So a lot of people will use it as a grounding stone or a stone for stability and strength, right? And in some traditions, it's often associated with ancestor work. So, and I think that's an aspect of the stone that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, but it comes up quite often in many books and things like that. And I think some people forget about that. So if you are someone who's doing ancestral work, try bringing Smoky quartz into your practice. So it's a wonderful stone. I love this stone so much. And this is just a beautiful piece that I have of a nice little cluster that I found this at the Gem and Mineral Show 2 years ago, I think. It was in a flat that I bought for the boutique. And as things, it does happen sometimes when I buy things for the boutique, they don't leave. They just stay. And that's okay. So, yeah. So that is my most favoritist crystal from last month. Where can I put this so it's not in the way? There we go. We'll just leave that there. Okay. Lots of work with that. Obsidian. Obsidian's a wonderful stone. Volcanic glass. I've talked about obsidian on the channel a few times. As a monthly favorite when I've worked with obsidian. Obsidian I find is more better. I need sleep. I tend to lean towards obsidian when I need the properties of obsidian to move quickly because of that sort of idea of it being like lava, right? I also find it better for like banishing and like spell reversing and like protection from like evil eye kind of vibes and things like that than I do for like grounding and clearing. So that's kind of how I differentiate the two. Very different, like very similar stones, right? But very different applications. Um, yeah. Mm. Ch- Whoops, Chilligate. Is this gonna be a thing? Hashtag Chilligate in my comment section? Oh no. Don't hate me because I don't like chili, guys. I'm sorry. It's not my favorite thing. I'm allowed to not like certain things, okay? Not a fan of chili. I will say this, growing up that was difficult for me because my mom fucking loves chili. Like she'll eat chili on anything. And I'd be like, "Mom, what's for dinner?" I still like growing up this is like she'd be like, "Chili." And I'd be like, "Okay, I'm having cereal." That was my life growing up because I am not a chili fan. All right. So that is Crystal. Where did my notes go now? I keep losing my notes. TV, film, and video game. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I video game wise, mostly just playing Throne and Liberty, really enjoying that with my friends. That's been really good. Um, TV wise, we finished the second season of Rings of Power. Very not happy with the way it ended. I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't know if I'm going to continue watching the show, if I'm perfectly honest. The adaptation is just so far beyond what is even remotely Tolkien, in my opinion. At this point, they're just like borrowing names and locations and completely changing the story. So, um, it's like Tolkien flavored fantasy show now is how I would describe it. I'm not happy with it. So that's definitely not on the list. Um, but I will say the thing that I really fell in love with last month that I ended up binging a little bit while I was like pricing things and getting them ready for the new boutique was Culinary Class Wars on Netflix. Anybody in chat watching or has watched Culinary Class Wars? Because I am slightly obsessed right now. I'm not gonna lie. Um, yeah, like really good. So if you like cooking shows, and you have Netflix, go check out Culinary Class Wars. It is a Korean show and they do have it dubbed in English. So if you, if you just want to like listen to it or something like that, you can. It's pretty easy, um, but it's like a wild cooking competition, and they are like brutal, and I love it. It's very unique. It's not like the sort of like Food Networky kind of competitions that we get here in the States. Like it's very well qualified, very famous chefs and professional people in these instances. It's not like home cooks going in to be like yelled at by Gordon Ramsay, right? And so I don't know. I just really have been enjoying this show. So yeah, if anyone's watching this, it's great. It's great. And if you're not watching it, go check it out because I love it. I'm kind of obsessed. And I need more people to talk to about it because this is and it's funny because the only reason why I started watching this is because a lot of the food tubers that I watch here on YouTube have all been talking about it. And I was like, okay, I'll check this out. I don't know if it's going to be my thing because I'm not big on like cooking competition shows. Like I was never big on like Master Chef or I did watch a lot of Iron Chef when I was younger, when that was a thing on Food Network, but like I've never been like a big like cooking like competition person. But this one's really fun, so go check it out. Highly recommend. Elementary. Oh, I don't think I've heard good things about that. I'll have to check that out. Um, Agatha All Along is on my list. Everybody's talking about this show and I'm avoiding it. Anytime I hear the word like aga, like if someone was talking about like agates, I would probably like turn off their video because right now I don't want to be spoiled because everyone's like, you need to watch this. And I'm like, I know, please clone me so you can do all of the, like, my clone can do all of the stuff that I need to do and I can just binge watch the show. But it's absolutely on my list. Um, Martha Stewart documentary. Interesting. Queen of Swords type? Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. That's a really good, like, connection for that archetype. I like that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that one. That's a good one. Okay, what's next? What else do we got on the list? YouTube, I think, is next. I don't know where my notes went. I'm struggling to get to you guys. Yeah, YouTube. YouTube is next. Okay. I didn't watch a whole lot of YouTube this month, last month, because like this, I don't even know how to like this pile is one folding table worth of stuff. In my little studio space in my rec room, there are four folding tables plus my workbench where I normally make art and stuff, which is basically the size of like 1.5 folding tables, full of product, and underneath of them is stacks of boxes full of product. So I wasn't watching a whole lot of YouTube. I was mostly just kind of watching stuff on Netflix and things like that. But there was one thing that stood out while I was reminiscing about the month of October. Um, and I was like, Wicked. Every time they posted something to the Wicked the movie um YouTube channel, I stopped what I was doing and I immediately watched it because I am so excited for Wicked. Like I can't even tell you guys, like Wicked is like one of my all-time favorite musicals ever. I got to see the original LA cast. It's amazing. I got to see it in London when I was in London. It's probably the musical I've seen the most like in person next to Phantom probably. I love Wicked. And so everything that has been posted about that I've watched and I am obsessed with. Yeah, if you go check it out, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Wicked. But they're posting a lot of little like behind the scenes kinds of things. And the thing I think I'm most excited about with the fact of this film, like I was super disappointed in Rent because obviously they didn't really they changed a lot from the stage show and then they didn't sing live and like Les Mis they sung live and they're singing live in Wicked too and I just think it completely changes how a musical feels when you watch it when the actors are singing live versus when they're like in a studio, right? um that was one thing that I always had like a trouble like I always had trouble with when I was watching Glee is because it's very clear that they're like not singing live like on the set. They go into a recording studio, they record the song, and then they're effectively lip syncing. Sometimes they did sing on set, but like it's a you can tell there's slight differences, and my brain just doesn't like that. Um, but yeah, don't 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 YouTube chat and drive. Please be safe. Oh my goodness, you guys in chat. Unless you're the passenger, of course. That's completely acceptable. um but yeah, super excited for Wicked. Um yeah, the fan art thing that was bizarre. I don't even know what to say. I didn't really look into that. I just saw that there was like people getting up in arms and I was like, I'm nope, don't even want to look. But if you're into musicals and you're into Wicked, go check out some of the behind the scenes stuff because it's really interesting. You get a really good sense of like what they're putting into the film, and I'm very excited for it. Very excited. Okay, so there is that. I think we are on to everybody's favorite. I can close this now. Favorite section, which is tarot and oracle. Oh no, I skipped books. No, book is next. Oh my goodness. Okay, book is next. So I didn't have a ton of time to read last month. I did end up getting a few of these. I haven't even opened two of them, you guys. So I showed off one of these um in the last live stream. What is going on here? Uh, I'm gonna switch cameras. I showed off one of these in the last live stream. I got a whole bunch of them because I'm carrying them in my boutique. Um, and I'm really liking them so far. So the one that I read last month was Palmistry, mostly because this is probably a big gap in my kind of occult knowledge. Like I know a little bit about palmistry. Well, I know more now, but before I read this was a big gap. But these books are beautiful. There's an herbalism one. There's an astrology one that um, I don't have handy. There's this tantra one. There's a psychic powers one. I'm probably gonna read this one next. I think law of attraction and homeopathy, which I love homeopathic remedies. I am a practitioner of homeopathy. But the palmistry one is the one I read last month, and I was really surprised. Now, first of all, I didn't realize this, but they're completely sewn bindings, by the way. So these little books are really well constructed. And they're illustrated and all kinds of fun stuff. I really enjoyed this for what it is. For a quick little like 101 book. Here's palmistry, here's what it's about. Um, down and dirty kind of thing. That this thing was great. Highly recommend these. I'm very excited to be carrying them in my store. They're pretty easily available on Amazon. They're very affordable. I think it's like $12 US on Amazon right now. Don't quote me on that, obviously. It changes all the time, but as of when I looked this morning to put the link in, I think it was like $12 or $13. Um, but they're great little books. So, palmistry is really interesting. So I want to look into other books on palmistry to get an idea. Like I kind of want to read more now. Like this made me want to read and learn more about palmistry, which is a good thing. And I chewed through this in like a few nights, right? Like I was super stressed and anxious, and one of the things I usually do to kind of just unwind before I go to bed is read. And I literally chewed through this book in a couple of nights. They're a nice, quick, and easy read. But I highly recommend this. So go check this out if you're interested in some of these topics. I think that they're also in the works on a tarot one for this series. So um excited to see how that goes. So check it out. Okay. Tarot and Oracle. Favorite new tarot last month. Everybody was talking about this deck all over the tarot tubes. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And then I got it and I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I get it. And that's the every little thing you do is magic tarot deck. Um, a lot of people are saying this has like indie vibes, but is mass market. And I definitely get that. The box, really nice. Great little box, right? Um, the deck itself is not a standard tarot size. So you also get this cool little like foldable like card holder. I obviously haven't used it because I don't really do that, but it lives in the box. The guidebook is pretty nice. I love the inclusion of gemstones and minerals in the guidebook. I thought that was really clever the way they kind of did this. They also give you music and scents, which is just like some interesting things, right? Um, so there's songs that you can listen to that correspond to each of the cards, which I thought was really clever. Some of you guys in chat might really like that or have very strong opinions on their choices. And then the sense is really interesting too because there's like sense like your nose like smells associated with each of the cards, right? So for example, here we are at the Oracle of Wands, which is one of the court cards. I believe this is the Queen of Wands. And the scents associated with this card are vetiver and an old patchwork quilt. And I love that it's like a a smell, like an essential oil kind of thing, and then like something weird, right? Like an old patchwork quilt, right? Like I suddenly get like wafts of like cigarette smoke and cats, like you know what I mean? Like passion fruit and guava and mango. Like there's like rubber what card is this? The 5 of wands. I like that. The 5 of wands is rubber bands and a fresh pair of scissors, right? Like they're really clever and evocative in terms of like what you like. I can smell the rubber bands just thinking about that, right? So I thought that was really clever. So I really like the guidebook. And the cards, like I said, the cards are not standard tarot size. Let's grab a tarot card for scale. So here we have a standard Rider-Waite Smith card. And as you can see, they're quite a bit wider and just a little bit taller. But it's a really, I mean, it's not a hard deck to shuffle because it is still kind of that tarot size, right? The cardstock is really nice. The backs are fun. It's kind of a whimsical deck. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's fun. Um, and yeah, it's like a collagey. Let me zoom in here so you guys can get a better look. It's like a collagey kind of animal deck. And this is why I was kind of like, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's a fun deck. I've been really enjoying it, which has quite surprised me. Great quality, very affordable. I think right now it's only $20 on Amazon. Um, yeah, it's a fun deck. I like like I like this card. The hangman in this one is really interesting. But there's some really good little kind of associations throughout this deck. So I love the big goldfish. Isn't he cute? Like this is a cool animal deck. Like this is an animal deck I can see myself using, right? Um oh, I love the ant for the Page of Swords. So I've been really digging this. It's just it's fun. It's a feel good kind of deck, right? Like I like the collage. I like the colors. I like the I can't say that word today. Juxtaposition. Why can't I say that? Anyways, I like the contrast between the sort of like brightly colored backgrounds and then the monochromatic elements in the front. I thought that was really clever. I love otters so much. They're so cute. Um, yeah, I really like this. And I get it. Like so many people were like, there's just something about this deck. And I haven't quite put my finger on it yet. I haven't worked with it enough, but I'm really loving it. Um, I love the collage element. There's some stuff in this that kind of reminds me of like the textured tarot and things like that. Um, so yeah, I dig it. I very, very much dig it. Um, yeah, very fun. Very fun deck. So check this one out if you haven't done so already. The guidebook's super cool. Every little thing you do is magic. I will be playing with this more and getting to know it more. I've only had it for a couple weeks now. I got it, I think it was the second to last week in October, but by far my favorite new deck from last month. Most used deck is next. And that, my friends, thanks to a lot of you, is the Star Tarot. This is a deck that never leaves my table. I've talked about this a number of times on my channel. This is probably one of my favorite decks of all time. Like if I had to pick like five, this would be on the list, hands down. Not only because the deck is amazing, but also because, it's right here, the guidebook is probably my favorite tarot guidebook ever. I love this guidebook. It always sits on my desk. I will pull it out and read things from it when I'm stuck in a reading and things like that. This guidebook is my everything. It is a sort of Thoth hybrid deck. Um, and a lot of people were requesting Thoth readings last month. Which, by the way, if you ever order a reading from me and you want it to be read with a specific system, aka Thoth or Marseille or RWS, etc., or a specific deck, even, you can always put that in the notes section, and I always do that. So keep that in mind when you get your readings. But quite a few people, I think probably because we just got done with the Thoth study hall, um, have been requesting I do readings with Thoth decks. And this one I just kept it has a very like autumnal feel. So it's very good for this time of year, this like transition from like autumn into winter. Um, and I just love this deck. It's one of my all-time favorites. I can't get enough of it. Um, it's just so good. So good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've gushed about this deck so much I don't even know what to say anymore other than like if you don't have this deck, just get it. Just get it and read the book. It profoundly changed my perspective on a lot of things in tarot. Um, and yeah, it's amazing. Love, love, love. Love it. This hermit. This hermit is everything. My life path card right here. Scarab and Delilah is amazing. For those of you guys talking about it in chat right now, I love me the Scarab and Delilah. So yeah, this was by far my most used deck last month. Lots of people were requesting readings with Thoth decks, and if you requested a reading with a Thoth deck, you probably got it with the Star Tarot because it is the Thoth deck I read the most for people with, other than Crowley's deck. I tend not to reach for the Moline decks so much when doing client readings. I think only because they're really intense, unless someone specifically requests that I use them. But yeah, um, you already planned out your entire year of decks for 2025 based on Thoth decks after study hall. I love that. I want to see that list. You should totally post it in Discord. I would love to see that. So yeah, that's that's it. Those are all my favorite things from the month of October. Favorite new tarot deck, favorite old, most used tarot deck, um, all my favorite things, all my favorite goodies, all the usual stuff. Now's a great time, chat. If you guys have questions, feel free to throw them in. If you're watching this on replay and you have any questions, throw them in the comment section down below. As always, guys, I love hearing about what your guys' favorite stuff is. So if you discovered something new that you fell in love with, feel free to throw it in the chat, the live chat, or in the comment section, all that fun stuff. Because that's how sometimes I find some of my favorite stuff. In fact, Tarot of Delilah was very much one of those things. Someone had posted about it on one of my videos, and then everybody started talking about it, and I got it, and I was like, this is a really good deck. So yeah. It is most used, very much not new to me. So the new deck was the Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic. So I always do a new deck that came in the month that I really enjoyed, and then my most used deck. So I go through and I look at all the client readings I did, because I have a record of all that, and then all of the readings that I kind of do for myself. And the Star Tarot was hands down the one that I used the most last month. And this is a deck that I've gushed about this on the channel before, and I love it. This guidebook hands down. If I ever do a video that's like my top 10 tarot guidebooks, like this is number one. No doubt in my mind. I don't even have to think about it. There's nothing that you can remotely even convince me will change my position on this being number one ever. I love this guidebook so much. It really, really did shape and transform how I look at tarot. It's a deck that I always turn to when I'm going through like difficult times for myself personally. It's one of my all-time favorite tarot decks, and I love it. Um, Everyday Witch. I never got Everyday Witch. I never picked that one up. And I don't know, I think it's because it reminded me a lot of kind of like the Wizard Tarot and like a lot of other decks that I have. Um, but I still to this day I've never picked up Everyday Witch. I know a lot of people really love that deck though. Oops. Um, any other questions or anything that anyone wants to add before? So after this, I'm gonna run back over to the new boutique, touch up any painting I that needs to be touched up, right? Because whenever you paint a wall, or in my case, a bunch of walls, there's always touch up work. Always, always. You get in there and you're like, oh, like right there. So I'm gonna touch up the paint. I've got two big sort of like bookshelves to move in today. And I'm gonna get all the furniture arranged and cleaned and old Englished and all that fun stuff. That is on my agenda this afternoon. And some sort of food. I do need to eat today. I still haven't even eaten anything today. So yeah. But like I said, I will once well not once, but I will be posting kind of like progress photos and stuff of the new boutique on Instagram, which automatically get posted to Facebook. So if you follow me in either of those spaces, you'll see those. I'll also post some extra behind the scenes stuff um in the Discord. So yeah. Dumplings. Who helps with that? So my mom actually helps me quite a bit. She has run an antique booth. So the place that I put the original boutique in, my mom also has a space where she sells vintage things and things like that. And so my mom does help me with quite a bit of that. She'll come in and help. Obviously, she's not going to help me with the furniture because she's a teeny tiny little thing. So I either have friends or like my dad will help me, stuff like that. All the usual people. But yeah, most of it's just yours truly here, sorting through boxes, endless boxes, and then breaking them down so I can take them to recycling. So yeah, fun stuff. Yes, dumplings. Dumplings. What are the decks I always keep in stock for the boutique? The Rider-Waite Smith and the Thoth. So I selling most people buy their decks these days from bookstores, online, and from like big metaphysical shops, which I am none of those, right? Um, so I tend to keep the like tried and true around, right? Obviously. So the classic yellow box RWS, the borderless RWS, a couple versions of Crowley's Thoth deck, the Aquarian Tarot I usually keep in stock, things like that. And then I just kind of rotate through. I'll buy a couple of like the latest and greatest and put them in there. But tarot has a very when you're a my size business, the margin on tarot, like from a business standpoint, is very small, just like books, right? Most people go to Barnes and Noble or they go to Amazon or what have you for their books, right? They're not buying them in the local shops, and the profit margin on books in general is terrible. So unless you're moving a crap ton of them, you're basically breaking even or losing money at the end of the day when you factor in your overhead, right? So I don't tend to keep a ton of them around. I keep them because people want them and they do like supporting smaller businesses and stuff like that. But um, books and decks are hard for the small guys. So unless you're running like a tarot arts kind of website or you're a big brick and mortar shop or what have you, it's rough. um oh, that's for Vintage Moon. Yep, Hermetic Tarot. Yep, I do keep the Hermetic Tarot. Um, that the Hermetic Tarot is one of those ones that I think is very market based and very shop based, right? Like I think that deck sells well in places that attract that kind of customer too, right? Which is the thing, right? There are many flavors of us occult types out there, and sometimes things like that move really well, and sometimes they don't. So I'm just catching up on chat right now, guys. That's because okay, I was posting kimchi pics quite often, and that's because I made my own kimchi and I was very proud of it, and it was yummy. It was so good. It was so good. I think I even talked about it in my favorites for that month when I made that kimchi. It was so yummy. I need to make kimchi again. I haven't made kimchi in a while. I've just been buying it from my favorite little like Korean market here in town, and their kimchi is really good. Because the little lady that runs that store, I love her. Every time I go in there, she's so cute. She runs up to me, and she, oh, how are you? And and she's like, you know, can I help you with anything today? And I'm always like, oh, I'm just here to grab this, that, or the other thing. And then she always gives me free stuff, as if I'm like I clearly am not starving, but she like goes full grandma mode on me, and I love it. I adore it. And she's always like, oh, have you tried this? And I'll be like, no. She goes, okay, I give it to you. I think you really like. And she throws it in my bag, and I love her. She's so nice and she's so cute. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. All right, friends, I got lots to do in the new space. I really, really just want to say thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today and check out some of my favorite things. As always, links in the description box. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate each and every one of you so very much. A huge shout out and thank you to all my members of Scala Metaphysicae. You guys rock. And if you're just here hanging out, if you're chatting, if you're lurking, whatever, I appreciate you. So thank you so much for being a part of my Sunday morning. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, as most of you guys got lots of extra sleep because of daylight savings time. And yeah, stay tuned. Lots of cool stuff coming up. I did post, like I said, on the community tab what all the upcoming sort of live stream events are for the channel and some other stuff that's going on. So if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. And yeah, we'll see you guys around YouTube. And remember, everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So be kind always. Bye, everybody.